For more about this aviation disaster, let's bring in ABC News contributor and aviation analyst John Nance. John, thank you so much for your time. There are so many questions already about that concrete barrier at the end of the runway. Why was that there?
Well, apparently it's built or was built to provide a platform for the instrument landing system and possibly other radios as well. But I'm unfamiliar with the practice of putting a barrier that thick at the end of a runway. This is a long runway, but by the same token, you always have to consider somebody may run off the end of it, as happened here.
Would we find something like this, a barrier of this type here at American airports?
I'm not familiar with any American airport that has this kind of barrier, that unyielding barrier of concrete. By the same token, there are antennas and there are ditches and there are certain runways where there's a drop-off of as much as 100 feet on the end. So it's no man's land to a certain extent. By the same token, this is pretty extreme.
It certainly is. And John, at this point, what do we know about the possibility of pilot error in this crash, especially given the very rapid turnaround?
99% of the time it's not pilot error, it's human error that any human would fall victim to, but we don't know the sequence yet. Certainly that will be contained in the so-called black boxes, but it appears increasingly possible that they were given a warning about birds and immediately slammed into some birds, and that may have taken away their ability to fly the airplane and caused a quick turn back to the runway, too quick, in fact.
And John, can you speak about the co-pilot, like part of their role? Is it to question the actions of the pilot? Is it to be a backup? Kind of walk us through what that co-pilot's role may be in a situation like this.
Ideally, and the way we train this worldwide on a thing called crew resource management, it's a team effort. And even under the greatest duress, like what you saw with Captain Sullenberger and his first officer going into the Hudson, they are almost wordlessly passing information back and forth and making mutual decisions. You don't expect a situation where one's going to be arguing with the other, and there wasn't time here. Whatever went on very rapidly.
And as Britt noted in her piece, the two surviving individuals, the flight attendants, were sitting near the tail of the plane. What can we infer about how they were able to survive when so many lives were lost?
Well, it is to a certain extent, I hate to use the term, but the luck of the draw, because every accident is different, and there's so few of them. But we don't have a plethora of accidents where airplanes are skidding across the ground. And if you do, of course, the area of the airplane that is going to be the least compressed and possibly the greatest survivability factor would be the tail section.
And this, of course, will be investigated. We now know NTSB investigators are joining the investigation. How long would you expect it to take before they can get some answers?
Well, keep in mind that there is never, ever, and this is axiomatic, never just one cause to an airline accident. This is going to be a complex one, and there's going to be certain things that led to other things and did so in very rapid sequence. That's going to take a long time. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see a final report take a year. By the same token, we will know very rapidly what some of the major factors were.
Quite possibly a chain reaction of events. So sad, so tragic. John Nance, thank you so much for your time and your insights.